Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture.
And I'm not.
And stick around because we're going to be answering your wrestling questions.
And stick around till the very end because I have a take on Monday Night Raw that is going to blow your mind, probably.
Can't wait for that.
It's going to be good.
But first off, the TLC injury crisis has struck yet again. You may remember last year, everyone basically got the mumps. Well, now everyone in WWE is ill yet again. We already knew about Finn Balor. Still, his match on Sunday is in doubt. Now the likes of Mandy Rose, Alexa Bliss, and Bobby Roode have all been struck down with this illness. It's not looking good.
It's not looking good at all, is it? I mean, these things could all be purely coincidental, but it doesn't sound like it. It's really strange that all these people have come down with the same thing at the same time, effectively. I think the plan with Alexa was that on Raw she was supposed to cut a really long promo, but she was obviously so messed up with what Dave Meltzer describes in The Observer as a very bad cold, so they cut her out completely, speaking-wise, and had Nia Jax carry the load instead. Bobby Roode was apparently so choked up he could barely talk, but he got through his stuff on Raw, and obviously he became a Raw Tag Team Champion, so he did okay. Finn is obviously the most concerning one. He's the one who has a big match this weekend that I think we all want to see. I think the latest chat is that he should be okay, but there's no guarantee. Mandy Rose, the interesting thing about her is that she was supposed to wrestle Naomi on SmackDown, and it just got cancelled. She hasn't wrestled since the 4th of December. What's going on?
I mean, this sounds really horrible, but it's not the top of the card that's been affected like it was, say last year. So that's the only saving grace here. But yeah, losing the likes of Finn Balor and losing a lot of the main roster, by the sounds of it, and it sounds like it's spreading, so it could be getting even worse. It's terrible news for WWE. It's such a hectic period for them, especially. I mean, it never really stops for WWE, but
no. It's kind of crazy, it's unfortunate, but you know, maybe the pay-per-view will deliver regardless, as long as AJ Styles or Daniel Bryan don't get injured. Now, Monday Night Raw. It's not been very good lately, has it?
No.
So, it's been terrible, ratings-wise, new lows. Creatively, I think we can all agree that it's been pretty terrible. The past week was a little bit better than usual. Yeah. Dave Meltzer, in this week's Wrestling Observer newsletter, Shagger Dave, has a very comprehensive breakdown of why he thinks that is. And I'm going to read to you the key points from it because it's a long, long paragraph. We know Dave doesn't know how to use his return button if you read his newsletter. He is talking all about ratings, creative. Vince has obviously been rewriting things at the last minute. We've known that for a couple of weeks, but apparently the man is really overworked at the moment. He's not getting any sleep. He's got the XFL. He's got all these things to worry about. But on top of that, he's been going out of his way to get his announcers to be more argumentative, which makes it feel like old school WCW, or even that nonsense they were doing in TNA last year with Josh Matthews and Jeremy Borash. It's really distracting. They've been turning Renee Young into kind of like a Stepford wife figure in that she's just become really kind of subservient to the other guys, and it's really regressive. Obviously, having Reigns and Strowman off television doesn't help them very much either, although they can't really do anything about that. And also, the interesting thing about Ronda Rousey as well, the biggest mainstream star in the company, that's created no ratings boosts whatsoever. What do you make of that?
I think they're mismanaging her a little bit. I think it's been discussed a lot before about how they're kind of normalising her a little bit with some of the storylines she's been in. I think when she came in and was just this destroyer, I think it worked a lot better. But overall, the product needs to get better. I remember Dave mentioning a few days ago, he basically compared the opening segment with Seth Rollins coming out and saying how crap their own show was WCW-esque.
Very Vince Russo, that
on
segment.
Their sort of downfall.
Very much so. They were trying to turn him into like a CM Punk figure, but it came off like WCW 2000.
And I know SmackDown isn't doing much better in terms of, well, it's not doing great in terms of ratings, but in terms of quality of television,
it's a different level.
You anticipate if the eyes came back to that product, it'd be so much better. And it's so simple. You look at what Daniel Bryan did. He came out, cut a great promo, and had a fantastic match with Mustafa Ali. They almost need to just go back to basics for me.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's a good take on it. Like, the problem with WWE television is that everything needs to be an angle. We're feuding over this. We're feuding because you pissed on my robe. We're feuding because you stole my girlfriend. You damaged my car. Why does everything need to be an angle? Why can people not just have matches because they're competitors and they want to win things?
Let's just hope they hit the reset button for 2019. Moving on to SmackDown, though, and very interesting news surrounding SmackDown's new deal with Fox. Apparently, Fox
this is a big one.
Wants SmackDown to hit 3.3 million viewers, which is going to be a hell of a task, because I think now they got, 1.9 million viewers? Now, Shagger Dave does say that he expects a 25% boost in the viewers once they move to Fox, because of just how many eyes are usually on that product. But that still means, in I think a 10-month period, they're going to have to get another 30% viewers.
It's crazy. So basically, they want them to jump from 1.9 million, which is what they got this week, to 3.3 million by October. or they are going to reconsider the deal. This is Dave Meltzer's opinion, of course. It's not gospel, it never is. But he reckons that if they get a couple of months into this deal and they're doing 2 million, 2.5 million, which is probably realistic, Fox might have second thoughts, which must be very worrying after this $1 billion agreement. I don't know how on earth WWE are supposed to reverse several years worth of chronic rating slide in such a short period of time.
Also, one would suspect when the deal was announced, there would have been a caveat put in if this was the case, and it's not been mentioned up until now. So I don't know what WWE are probably just going to sit there and say we got 2.5 million. They're going to say we're reconsidering the deal, and they go, don't care, we've already been paid. So.
Yeah, I mean, there'll be something in the contract for various details. I mean, to give Dave credit, I know a lot of people don't like him, and he does get a few things wrong here and there. He's usually very on the money when it comes to business stuff. That's usually something he's pretty, very, very solid at. That and his obituaries are probably some of his best work. So I'm inclined to believe him here. I'm really interested to see what WWE do to try and boost it, because it can only be good for us.
I was going to say 1.4 million extra viewers they need, and one would anticipate they're not just going to do hotshot stuff. They will have a plan for this. 10 months, is a fair bit of time. It's going to be interesting because we're going to be going into WrestleMania season where the viewership always goes up a little bit more. And I think, as you say, it's only going to be beneficial for us fans because they're going to try and do more stuff on TV to get you watch it rather than just sort of spinning the wheels until the next pay-per-view.
Absolutely. And speaking of things that happen on television, this Monday on television, guess who's back on Raw?
Is it?
It's not Viscera. He's dead.
Yeah. Is it Gangrel?
No, it's not Gangrel.
What's the point?
It is Kurt I almost said Axel. Kurt Angle. He is coming back to Raw this week, according to PW Insider, your favourite website. Never go on that website without an ad blocker, by the way. Bad. He's coming back in 24 hours after Baron Corbin versus Braun Strowman, in which Baron Corbin, if he wins, he'll be the full-time authority figure on Raw. If he loses, he will have all power stripped. So, is Kurt Angle coming back to Raw to hand power over or take it back?
Please, God, take it back. I mean, Baron Corbin's been effective at being a git as general manager, but the show's terrible, the storyline's pointless, and I'd much rather see, in the whole grand scheme of things, Kurt Angle coming back. I always much prefer babyface GMs who can just come out and aren't so heavily involved in the show. Just let the storylines play out as they are rather than having these authority figures that they insist on. And the other thing to that would obviously be Braun Strowman winning and therefore going on to face Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble, which is a match they need to fix after their last encounter.
And I could not agree with you more.
Absolutely. Right, let's move on to your wrestling questions. You can tweet them at us at WhatCulture WWE. And our first one is a video from Dark Willow.
Willow Flood.
You have a brother?
Elmer Flood.
Play the bloody video.
Hello everybody at WhatCulture. It's 5 a.m. where I'm living. Also, thank you so much for the shirt you guys gave me from the pay-per-view live stream. And my question would be, if you could book a match with a triple threat, really, with 3 people with matching personalities from different eras, who would you book?
Matching personalities from different eras. Who are you going for?
Wow, that's a tough one. I'm going to go for crazy big lads.
Okay.
Big lads who are crazy. I'm going for Braun Strowman, he's mental. Big Van Vader, classic Big Van Vader, not WWF version, the All Japan WCW, the mental one. And Bruiser Brody.
That's great.
Imagine how stupid that would be. Brawling in the crowd, power slams, big lad stuff.
That's one of those matches, I know obviously we're sort of fantasy booking here, but that's a match I would love. Vader, Braun, and Bruiser Brody.
It's 3 people I'm scared of, basically.
Unless Brody turns up to that match and goes, yeah, it's not going to work for me, I'm going home.
Yeah.
He's been known to do it in the past.
He's done that many times.
I'm going to pick good wrestlers. Good little wrestlers, technically proficient men, because I basically want to book a match with Daniel Bryan. I'm going to go Daniel Bryan, Shawn Michaels, even though Dark Willow used him for his, he said Dolph Ziggler, Shawn Michaels and someone else. But I'm going to use Shawn Michaels as well because Bryan versus Michaels is a match we all want to see.
Yeah.
And I will chuck in Dynamite Kid.
Good call.
Fantastic
Excellent
wrestler. Right, let's move on to another one of your Twitter questions. The next one comes from, I've lost it. No, I haven't. I've got it right now. Kamer Gamer Titletown on Twitter, who says, who are your picks for surprise appearances in the Royal Rumble match this year?
Gangrel. Sonya Deville. No, surprise picks, it's difficult because it almost feels like they've burned out every surprise they could possibly do. But I think in the Women's Royal Rumble, I think it's a bit weird that we haven't seen Melina back. Very popular in the Ruthless Aggression era. She's talked about wanting to come back several times. She still wrestles in Australia, of all places. It'd be really cool to see her back, especially when you consider how many other people from that era, like the Michelle McCools of the world, who flooded back in as part of the Revolution. I think that'd be cool.
And I really like the whole, bring out like when she was in M&M and they'd roll out the red carpet and stuff. That'd be a fantastic spot. And she's good, and I think, they, like you said, they sort of did everyone in the first first ever Women's Royal Rumble, so they need to look elsewhere.
Yeah.
I think she's good, and like you say, she's not one of those people who'd come in and look terrible.
No.
I'm going to cheat and say someone I've mentioned in a previous video. I'm going to say Scotty Too Hotty. He works in the Performance Centre. He is brilliant. He'd get everyone up. Think about like the Hurricane this year. Didn't do a lot, doesn't have to do a lot, doesn't have to be coming and be dominant and eliminate loads of people. It's about those moments. I interviewed the Hurricane a while back, and he was basically saying that, quite rightly, you can't remember a lot of other things that happened in that Rumble. Shinsuke Nakamura won, the Hurricane came out. That's about it, really. Yeah. So if you need one of those little spots to go alongside an eventual win of the Royal Rumble for The Miz, which is going to happen, I'm going to go with Scotty Too Hotty. And I know Phil would get very excited about that as well.
Yes, he would.
Our final question comes from Andrew Hartley.
Good name.
Interesting question, this, actually. Do you think WWE should do a new show on the network aimed at a more mature audience, which could allow the use of blood and more adult storylines?
Good question. I think if they were going to do something like that, it would obviously have to be on the network, as they can't really do it as a mainstream mass-consumed product. I think it's perfectly feasible. Whether or not the talent would want to do that, I think, is another matter entirely. I think when wrestlers go to WWE, Simon Gotch said this when he was talking about Finn Balor as part of a shoot interview. He said, Finn has done his this sounds really pretentious. Finn has done his art wrestling now. He was in New Japan. He did all these creative things, hard-hitting matches, bumps, blah, blah, blah. Now he's in WWE for his money wrestling. I think a lot of people sign for this company because it means they won't have to get bloodied up and take massive bumps and stuff. So I don't think it would be feasible with the current personnel, but it's certainly something that could be done.
I mean, they're signing people from left, right, and centre. They're signing everyone who's got a heartbeat, almost. I think, if they dedicated and also gave it as a little side project to someone else, just to try it out, I think I'd be interested in seeing something like that. You always see people in the comment section, what about the Attitude Era? People always talk about that and say that harken back to those good old days. Try it out. I think you've got enough bloody stuff on the network. Yeah. Give another thing. And I think something like that for a more mature audience that isn't camp WWE or swerved can only be beneficial.
It might be fun. Anyway, to wrap things up today. So Monday Night Raw. Back to that. It's been pretty terrible. It's not been good. No. What I have found is a gentleman called Glenn Rubenstein on Twitter. And I'll just read to you his tweet. Everyone's been talking about how hard it is for WWE to write Monday Night Raw each week. So I had the Botnik Studios AI bot analyze an entire year's worth of Wrestling Inc.'s Raw recaps. Then I had it help me write an episode via predictive text using this bot. So here is an outline of that first hour. Now it's very big. I'm not going to go through every single one, but a few highlights. Tonight's show comes to us from the American Sleep Center, which is very appropriate for Monday Night Raw. Out comes Baron Corbin to the ring. He says you suck.
Yeah.
Finn Balor appears with his new t-shirt. They trade words while Elias is trying to sing. Corey Graves mentions how good it is going to be. Then we have Sasha Banks is backstage with Bayley. She asks what they can do tonight. Stephanie McMahon announces herself for the main event. The fans chant, "We want Ziggler." The referee looks confused.
Yeah.
We cut to a video package showing highlights from earlier tonight. Well, that's just realistic, isn't it? There's all kinds of other stuff here. I won't get into it all, but to sum up the night, at the end of the first hour, Corey Graves mentions Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is not there.
Yeah, that's a perfect microcosm.
It's very good. If you want to check out the full thing, His Twitter handle is at Glenn Rubenstein. Glenn with 2 N's, RUBENSTEIN.
I reckon, considering how bad Raw's been, especially when Vince writes it, give that 1 week.
It's really good.
I'll watch it. Stephanie McMahon booking herself for the main event. You can totally see that. Brilliant. Right, our thanks for all your Twitter questions. Let us know your thoughts on everything, all the news we report today in the comment section below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And check out our new wrestling podcast by searching for What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes or Spotify. We're going to have a TLC preview coming on there very soon. And check out some more of our recent videos here. My thanks to Andy Murray. We've survived it, mate, the day after the Christmas party.
I've slept for half an hour.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.
Bye.